Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Shem Yahushua, Shem Kakwadash, and of course, double honors. Once again, go out to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone, and to the other Akim across the four corners, preaching this truth. All right, this is Nama of the DC camp, and I thought I'd do a little video on this article. This is from techstartups.com, and no wonder because as it reads here, Big Pharma minted 9 new billionaires in the last 2 years with combined wealth greater than the cost of vaccinating the world's poorest countries. Look who are on the ends, each end of the first top row. Looks like Moab to me. All right, AKA Chinese. All right. Wow. You got Amalek in there. All right. So these are the people that are taking advantage of really the world. Why? Because people have become so dependent. Remember, this is an exercise. This is still, they wanted to know, remember, this devil does things gradually. That's what he uses, all right? He's not just going to throw it on you all at one time. No. He's going to slow stroke it, all right? And that's just the way he works, all right? When you think about it, it makes sense, all right? Think of technology over the decades. Think of, hey, just your just society as it is and what it's become. Things that are thrown at you now, they would no, they wouldn't have done that 20, 30 years ago. Hell no. But over time and through different media or mediums, however you want to phrase it, namely your Hollywood, your other forms of entertainment, music industry, etc. They've gotten people to go along with certain things that this never would happen, like I said before. So this is the world that they want. This is contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the power of the Hebrews. And the Most High's name is Yahweh, and His Son's name is Yahushua. All right. And they're in a hurry now because, hey, the Hebrew Israelites are waking up. All right. And through the prophets, all right, more and more Israelites, no matter what they look like throughout the world, when you understand, this is just basic biology, people, genetics, etc. You don't have to have a doctorate or anything close to it to understand. That's why we bring out scriptures like Numbers 1 and 2 and verse 18, all right, about the pedigree, all right, all that, your ancestry is determined through your father. It always has been. Not your mother. That's something else. All right, that causes confusion. All right, so they know this. But back to this, I don't want to go off on a tangent. But this here, man, they've got a chokehold on you people that believe everything that comes out of this devil's mouth. Looking at these hearings with Fauci, why is he not in jail already? Has anybody asked that? Maybe it's because his smug ass knows that so far, all right, the ones that matter, all right, got his back. So he's not worried about Rand Paul, whatever he's coming, at him with. All right. Wow. Let's go ahead and get into this. Like I said, from techstartups.com says, who said you can't make billions while claiming to save? Notice it says claiming to save lives. The pharmaceutical industry has minted at least 9 billionaires since the pandemic started almost 2 years ago. I'm just going to go ahead and say it outright. Fuck them. Booster jabs have become easy money for Pfizer and Moderna, as the two companies found an additional pot of gold and turned the vaccines into a money-making machine. And that's all this is about. This shit is not keeping you from getting it, so what's the point? Oh, it's just going to lessen the symptoms. They keep telling you these lies, lie after lie after lie. And you know what? It's your people's fault because you keep believing it. First they told you it was the elderly, they're more susceptible. It's so-called blacks, even though the things are supposedly originated in China. What did it have to do with us? People believed it. You start seeing people as you were coming down the road, across the street, that sort of thing. So it played more into, stereotypes, racial stereotypes, that is, and they just had their fun. And of course, as always, at our expense. And it keeps going and going. That's why, if you take that shit, fuck you. Anyway, continuing on, it says, while this so-called disease is one of the worst pandemics in recent memory, really? Is it? It has also created enormous opportunities for pharmaceutical companies, small and large, as governments around the world spend billions on millions of vaccines, thanks to blah, 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 blah. Although Pfizer is one of the most popular pharmaceutical companies working on mRNA vaccines, behind the pharma giant are two previously known biotech startup companies, Moderna, as people have come to call it, and BioNTech. They were founded in 2008 and 2010, respectively, with the goal of pioneering messenger RNA therapies. So this, if you're reading between the lines here, this was pre-planned. That's why we call it the plandemic. There was no need to create this for what they said they're telling the people that they needed it for. It was it was no reason, all right, to alter the way they had made vaccines previously. None. This is a delivery system for something else. That's what we're trying to tell you. Anyway, it says before 2020, Moderna and BioNTech were relatively two unknown biotech startups that never produced or launched a product and didn't even have credit ratings. In just two years, Moderna has gone from an unknown startup to a multi-billion-dollar company. Just 2 years, people. Two. With a market capitalization of $97.68 billion. Making its CEO, Stefan Bancel, a billionaire. The same is true for BioNTech, which later partnered with Pfizer to develop mRNA shots. Today, the biotech startup is now valued at $58.54 billion, from $46.33 billion when we wrote about the company in April. So, from April, in just 8 months, they increased their profits by $12 billion. Oh, and also making its CEO, Ugur Sahin, a billionaire. So how did these pharmaceutical companies and their founders become overnight billionaires? An analysis by the People's Vaccine Alliance alleged that Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna charged governments as much as $41 billion above the estimated cost of production. Because everybody charges our government what the fuck they want. All right? And the government pays them. But this is all about fleecing the people. It's at the people's expense. Always has been. All right? This is nothing but, in essence, a transfer of wealth, again, from the poorest. And this is going to just eliminate the so-called middle class. All right, continuing on, it says at least 5 times more expensive than they could be. See? And this is why, we say things like, for our people, this is what you get, because what? Think about it. You put your trust in these devils. Of course they're going to take advantage of you. Let's go to Isaiah. Stay in the book of Isaiah, 1st chapter. And let me, with my trusty I wish this, like the desktop version, had the, I have to go to my King James Bible here because I want to get the heading for this chapter. And it says, Isaiah complaineth of Judah for her rebellion. All right. Verse 2, it says, Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Most High Yahweh, that's Lord in all caps, that's his name, the Most High Yahweh, have spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. And we're out there on the highways and byways trying to tell our people first who they are, all right? That the Most High's name is Yahweh and his son's name is Yahweh. That's who you should be praying to, not God and Jesus Christ, respectively, all right? Or irrespective. But they won't listen. Why? It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know, my people does not consider. For, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity. And they have help because, trust you, me, the elites, these banking families know exactly who we are. So they're going to keep this full court press of throwing shit out there through various medias, primarily music, because they know we're a musical people, you know. So they got this subculture, this hip-hop, this, that is blown up, all right? And this has altered the minds of our people to the point where you're killing each other. I mean, look at oh man, any wonder why they invented the system to take advantage of, single fathers and mother getting the father out of the household, where they started with the welfare system. Oh, wait a minute, we can make more money. We can hem up the fathers. You got this thing, baby daddy and all that. So we can create this child support system that's just all kinds of fucked up. All right, that's going to divide the family and keep them from coming together even more. All right, when we go into these, we bring up Psalms 83rd chapter. That's another device to keep us from coming together as a nation. Turn the women, weaponize. This devil has weaponized everything. You have to understand that. He has weaponized everything when it comes to the so-called African American. I hate even saying that because you're Israelites. You're none of those things. All right. Our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Most High Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. 5. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Look at the state of our people. And a lot of you think that it's going to get better. No, this place is out of here. Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. And this is the condition of our people. This is what it's telling you. From the soul, verse 6, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Because at some point you got to wonder, you see our people. I see it every day, and I shake my head. And this is not me saying that I'm better than anyone. No, I'm not saying that. So don't take it like that. I'm just pointing out facts, observational facts. And it crossed my mind from time to time. A lot of our people would just be better off dead. I got to say it. Got to say it. And that's in the Apocrypha. Death is can't quote it verbatim, but death is better than a miserable life. Let me see, since I brought it up, so you won't think we like to always show you these things and just quote. I'm going to see. Sirach. Let's see. Let me try 30. Let's see. Let's see. Wait a minute. Here it is. Sirach 30 and 17. This is one of them. This wasn't the one I was thinking of, but it says, death is better than a better life or continual sickness. And I know you've had some, those of you out there, you've had some, or have heard maybe some of your family members that have suffered from various illnesses for a long time. You might just, just to keep them from suffering, it might just be best that they just move on. And by that, I mean that they go to the spirit world. All right? Yeah, I can't think of the other one now. No, that's one, but that's not the exact one I was thinking about. Let's see. But anyway, for time's sake, let's move on. Let's see. Back to this. I'll go back. It says, today the two CEOs now top the list of new Pharma billionaires at a combined worth of around $18.67 billion. That's a shame. Fleecing. You know, they would do a segment, I forget what show it was I used to watch, they would call it the Fleecing of America. Well, this is the fleecing of the poor people of the world. This is, in all actuality, giving you something that they haven't studied. Now, they said 8 to 10 years here, but you never did any long-term observations of people after they got this thing. That's why you got people dropping dead. You got to consider, too, this has to do with population, or depopulation, I should say. Like I said, the New World Order, they're being forced because they know their time is short. Revelation 12:12, they know their time is short, so they got to try to hurry this thing up. Usually, in most cases, when you hurry and you scrounge around trying to do something, you make mistakes. All right, and in this case, these mistakes are people's lives, even if it was intended or not. All right, you got people out here dying as a result of this shit. And they're trying their best to hide it from you. A lot of you don't want to hear it. Partly out of fear, partly out of pride, because 2 years in, you got to think that, well, maybe, or it's not a maybe now, that I've been conned, I've been taken advantage of, I've been lied to. I've got something in my body now that I can't get rid of. The clock is ticking. I'm angry now. But why? Why did you not listen to the voices of the people that were saying, well, wait a minute, hold on, this shit don't sound right. But you wanted to go back to normal. You wanted to go back to normal. See, here's these motherfuckers right here. Look at this. Look at this, motherfuckers. These are the people you put your faith in, Israel. Whoops, why I keep doing that? Anyway. Whoops, wrong one. Hold on. So let's go back to Isaiah 1. Your country is dead, verse 7. Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it. In your presence, we have no power. All right? And it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. That's who's in our land now, strangers. All right? Strangers. People who have glad we finally got, we've captured it, because this devil, the person you call the so-called white man, his biblical nationality is Edom. He is a descendant of Jacob's brother Esau. So he is not a Jew, as he likes to call himself. He is an Edomite. All right, look up the nation of Edom. Just put Edom in your search engine. There's nothing ever good said about him because he is the wicked. All right? These people, as Malachi chapter 1, verses 1 through 4, it tells you they are the wicked. All right? The border of wickedness. Wherever they go, wickedness follows. All right, you can just study their history. Wherever they've gone, sooner or later, those people that they oppress, that their, their culture's done. And in the case of Gad, you got them claiming to be Gad now, any other country. I, for one, am one of those that, if you think the Saudi royal family is Ishmael, I don't know what to tell you. Because these devils, their past history is they marry into certain families. And then as time goes on, same thing with the British royal, all right, British royals, all right, because King James was one of us. They knew they were Jacobites. They knew they were Israelites. All right, this one took time to accomplish to get people out of monarchy in Europe. All right, it just didn't happen overnight. So in the case of why do you think they have such a relationship with the so-called Jews over there? They're supposed to be enemies, aren't they? Supposed to be at each other's throat, but yet you would think that, well, won't they come to the aid of the Lebanese and all those other people? Anyway, this is Isaiah 30 for our people. You keep putting your faith in this devil. It says, woe to the rebellious children. Remember, I just read Isaiah 1st chapter. Saith the Most High, that take counsel, but not of me. No, you ran to big pharma. You ran to the medical establishment. It says, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt. Now, the history behind this is, anyway, I'll keep reading. And have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. The history behind this is what Egypt did instead of calling on the Most High. They went to the arch enemy. And in this case, it's the same thing. Who is our arch enemy now? Who is our, what's that expression? Mortal enemy. Let's look that up real quick. Mortal enemy. All right. I often state this sometime, but got to, because our people don't understand these things. You keep running to this devil. And it's like, all right, let's see which one. Let's go to freedictionary.com. All right. Nope. Wrong one. I should have went with Miriam. Mortal enemy, someone who hates very much and for a long time. This is that ancient. This is transgenerational. This was set up from the beginning. That's not what I want either. Vocabulary. That's the one I should have went to at the beginning. As a noun, an enemy who wants to kill you. Really? Why does that sound familiar? Let's go to Genesis. Now, to understand Jacob and Esau, start at 25. All right, you can skip over this. Read the whole thing if you want, but start from 19. All right, and then go to 27. Again, if you like to read through, go ahead. We just do this because we want to get straight to the point. But feel free to read the whole thing. Now, after what people will consider that the stolen blessing, which we know it wasn't like, it's not like if the Most High didn't want this to happen, it wouldn't have happened. All right, you got to understand that. This was set up in the spirit long before. All right, but this is when he comes back. Isaac figures out that, he's been fooled. All right, so it says, let's see. Because Esau was Isaac's favorite. Jacob was Rebecca. You know, to this day, Jacob is a mama's boy. Hey, go figure. Like I said, this is in the spirit. So, because he used to make venison, and Isaac loved his venison, so he told him to go hunt. And Rebecca overheard this, and she took the opportunity and tricked Isaac. But like I said, this is set up in the spirit. I'll start at 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? Because this is when, like I say, they like to, so-called white man would like to say, well, see, he stole a blessing. He stole a blessing. Okay, like I said, if that were the case, this is nothing that couldn't have been remedied. All right? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. What is that telling you? He's going to have the best choices of everything. Does not this so-called white man, does not fit him? But how would he do it? Again, his blessing is what? What was his blessing? Here it is. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. Now, let's stop right there, because you will have some simps say, well, how is he just going to take a sword now with all these weapons that they got? No, it's parabolic. It's symbolic. It just means, you got to understand, this devil, this so-called white man's blessing, is that in of itself weapons of war, the art of war. He's got stuff that everybody has to go to him to learn of these things. That's the point. That's his blessing. You're not going to defeat him that way. He's to a point to where he thinks he's so advanced because of his blessing that he can take on the Most High. That's what these space programs and all this shit, this other new branch of the military that these devils have set up. Space Force or some shit, whatever. You know, that's why these things are happening. He's gotten so full of himself, but he fails to realize that this is the Most High setting him up like he did. Hey, go read Exodus. Go read Exodus. From 7 on. As he set Pharaoh, ancient Pharaoh, up sweet, he's doing the same thing here. This is going to be a bigger downfall than ancient Egypt ever was. Anyway, let me finish this. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Here's the point. 41. And Esau hated Jacob, because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. As you read on in this, Jacob was fearful of Esau for that. Now there's a point here where he goes to visit sometime later, and they hug, but that doesn't account for his descendants. And as time goes on, you're going to find out that, all right, as they come out of Egypt after 430 years, this is ancient Egypt now, that the same descendants of Esau would not let them pass through their land. All right, because they still held that hatred, and from thence on, it's been that way. When he rose up into the first time he ruled on a large scale as the Greeks, he maintained that hatred. They don't tell you this because, especially in church, because they took out the apocryphal books, and the Bible skips all that and goes from Malachi to the New Testament. So you don't know all that history. And it's very important, because that's why Christians are just, they think we're, lying to them, but you're not going to understand the Bible without that whole roughly 400-year gap that tells you how our people became the Gentiles that it's talking about. You got to understand there's two definitions for the word Gentile. There's the actual other nations, they're Gentiles or heathen. And then there's those that are Israelites that got scattered to foreign lands that as a result took on heathen customs, and then themselves they became as the heathen. And that's what Paul went about to do, was bring them back within the fold, within the commonwealth as much as he could, back to the commonwealth of Israel. All right? Trying to wake them up as to who they really were. That's was the mission of Paul. All right? So, hey, with that, once again, damn, I didn't mean to go that long. But here we are, people fleecing, and you need to know why our people keep falling for this same old shit. We are the target. They could really give a damn about everybody else. They're going to eventually fall. They want us. You get this shot, you're tagged. Tag, you're it. All right? Don't get it. Don't get it. It's marking you in ways that you can't understand. A lot of you can't understand. So the next step, what did I say about gradualism early on? The next step. See, they're priming you for what's coming next. You heard of Elon Musk and his neural net, this shit like that. This is what's coming. All right. Hey, so with that, shalom.